So Kashi.com gains in value over time. Like, we've spent less money on media as the site's gotten more popular, because it's got some steam of its own, you know. And the more content we put into it, the more useful features we put into it, the more valuable it becomes. So the trick is, if you care about your work being around for a long time, if you're interested in what you do, like being interesting in the future, you know, if you like, I want to be proud of the work that I do, like 5 or 10 years from now, you know, like something that I do today, you know, and not every brand cares about that, not every marketer cares about that, but you can care about that, you know. The internet cares about that. Like, the internet doesn't want that information to go away. It doesn't want you to stop doing something useful. It doesn't really want you to do a bunch of stunts that are sort of empty promises, you know. Like, the internet actually wants you to sort of add value to it, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I think like you can sort of use this industry as a little bit of a sort of crusade to like kind of make it sort of a better place if you want to, you know. And you don't have to like be good at advertising, but I think it's more fun, you know. Hey, thanks. Yeah. I don't know. Do we have time? Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned BBDO, that
Yes.
you worked in collaboration with them for HBO, and
Yeah.
I know you worked with Crispit for Subservient Chicken.
Yeah.
I would like to know, how does this collaboration works, and do you think advertising agencies that hire you, how do they collaborate? Do they have teams in the agencies that can actually deliver what you guys deliver? Are you better creative than they are? Shoot, just say it all.
How many agency people in the audience?
We are, so
Yeah.
yeah, you can say it all.
No, you know what? We used to work, for the first few years, I started this company as a digital production company for advertising agencies. And I was like, you guys hire a high-end director and production company to do your fancy TV commercials. Like, hire us to do your high-end websites as part of your campaigns. And so that was it. Like, 100% of my clients were agencies. The collaboration ranged from, here's our TV spot, what would you do for a website, to like something where they had half an idea or a whole idea, and we just sort of executed it. And then we did 300 projects and suddenly realized that we were really good at sort of at a lot more than just sort of like design and production and execution. And we, you know, as a collective, really understood brands really well and could really sort of pick up what a marketing problem was and come up with a bunch of effective ideas, and then actually just go in the other room and like make it, you know. And we were like, and also I think it's harder to come up with good ideas when you don't know if you can make it or not on the internet. Like, I think that it's such a malleable sort of medium compared to television or print, you know, like that it's fairly infinite possibilities that, you know, having like a production team is pretty important, you know, to sort of knowing what you can execute. So I don't know, you know, and we did the Subservient Chicken, and all of a sudden everybody at the brands, not just the agencies, sort of knew who we were because it was really famous, so they started calling us. So now 15% of our work's with agencies, the rest of it's with brands or media companies, or some of it's, we do some new brands that are like venture funded. That's like kind of a range. The BBDO thing was really very collaborative, actually. We started working on it like a year ago in Cannes. We started talking about it and like planning out the story, and we actually went and did prototypes of the story experience, and then the writers were like, oh, finally, I understand how this is really going to work. We're going to go write some more stuff, and we'll do some. So there was like 3 rounds of shooting content, because it was this traditional storytelling team writing and shooting for this weird interactive experience. So they didn't really understand it. You know, like we understood it, but we weren't the ones sort of doing that end of it. So once we had prototypes, they were like, the light bulbs went off and went on and they went and sort of did some more. So it was probably one of the best examples of like real collaboration between a pretty traditional agency team and, you know, and our interactive team. And I think that can happen. I think that's like an agency is just sort of selling the best product. You know, like you just have to do the best job for your client. You don't actually have to do the whole thing yourself. It doesn't really matter where the idea comes from. I don't care if it was my idea, your idea, like one of my producer's ideas, you know, as long as it's all in the execution anyway. You know, it's all in like what comes out the door at the end. So, I mean, I think like work has to be better than it used to be successful now, you know? Like competition is very stiff for quality. So I think it's a better time than it's ever been for, you know, for different sorts of companies to sort of collaborate with each other for a better product in the end, you know? All right, that's it. Thanks.
All right.